the White House is making remarks such as acquiring Greenland under some suspicious circumstances. I want to begin with Norman Floyd Barnes. We know that Venezuela has been going through some rough waters in the last 3-4 days. I want to understand how the United States feels about Greenland. Of course, there's tension between United States and Denmark because Denmark is the authority ruling over Greenland. I want to understand how Norman Floyd Barnes feels about this issue.
Greetings again from Washington, D.C. today. It appears that Congress was briefed by the Trump administration yesterday on components of this plan. There's a plan by the United States that's been in place for some period of time for the acquisition of Greenland. Greenland sits as a strategical location for the Trump's administration on the new, what we call the new sphere of interest. Russia, China, and the United States are in discussions about how to move forward for the next, what I call the New World Order. That will consist of different spheres. And the America sphere will be tipped off by Greenland and basically will extend all the way down to Argentina. You notice we have conversations and we are helping Argentina. That is for a purpose. The issue with Greenland is Greenland holds 25 of the 34 precious minerals and earth elements that is necessary for our economy and the use of technology. This will allow the United States to circumvent Taiwan and China in regards to the domination of resources. There's been conversations with Russia and the United States, previous conversations about the issue with Venezuela. This has been in plan for a long time. Russia has conceded that they will back off and not get involved with issues of the Western Hemisphere under the what we call Monroe Document 2.2.0 if the United States will back off on Ukraine and the issues in Europe. So that's number one. Two, China is also in the process of moving forward with their period of interest, and they have interest in South America. They have interest in the polar cap area because of the rare minerals, and they have issues in mining and getting resources again to basically to contain the dominance on technology resources needed in the world. The U.S. is in the process of using Greenland as a very strategic location, both military and technology and commerce-wise, to control the Western Hemisphere. They want to put bases there. They want to have basic control of the rare minerals, which is below the ice, that will allow the United States to control the market. Yes, there's also oil below the surface. So right now we're looking at a very situation where the United States is prepared. They announced yesterday to Congress that they want to purchase Greenland. The second option, of course, is the military approach. And the third option is basically come to agreement with Greenland, which consists of between 30 and 50,000 people, to basically provide services, technology, transportation, infrastructure, whatever, in conjunction with allowing the United States to put bases there and to operate there, and allowing the government to work as an independent country, nation, with the support of the United States. So all these three options are on the table right now, and it appears that the United States is hell-bent on making this happen.
I have an interesting question. the US President Donald Trump said that the interim authorities in Venezuela had agreed to transfer between 30 and 50 million barrels of sanctioned oil to the US to be sold at market price. Of course, the president added that the Energy Secretary Chris Wright had been asked to execute the plan immediately, with the oil to be transported on storage ships directly to the US unloading docks. I want to understand, given this latest news, how Norman Floyd Barnes assesses the matter, given that it's only been 3 days since the capture of the leader of Venezuela and the orders for exploitation of its oil are already on the way. So, if it's not now, when will the US courts take the matter into their cases, the fact that this is conducting some kind of crime, because it is a sovereign nation and their sovereignty has been questioned? Norman Floyd Barnes.
Yes, I'm going to be very frank. Right now, the U.S. courts, Congress, and the majority of the world is 20 years behind what's happening right now. I said that because a process is being played in place and that transcends international law. It's involved a transactional administration that has put things in place with and agreed to by the global leaders, and as no one is in a position to stop it. The courts has very little impact on exactly what's going on. We have a movement that is in process, and the courts can say yes or no, or you need to stop this, but it has already happened. We have an agreement with Venezuela. These plans is put in place. They just had to remove the top. Maduro talk to the government, which they consider illegitimate, but still they can manipulate them through the new president that's in there, through intimidation, that if you don't follow what I say, your fate is worse, going to be worse than Mandela. It's going to be worse than the former president. So they are pushed into a situation where they have to concede that we have we have all 50, they want 50, 50 million barrels of oil is need to come to the United States. The United States will take the profits from that and share the profits with the people of Venezuela. Who are the people of Venezuela? Well, that is determination by the Trump administration, who and how and what's going on. Right now, the blockade has produced a situation where all of the oil tankers in Venezuela are full of oil. They can't move, they can't leave. In 2 weeks, unless this oil is moved, the country is going to go into bankruptcy. They know this, what's going on. So the United States has conveniently offered them an option. We will buy the oil from you. We will sell the oil from you, and we will give you a portion of the oil. But we can control how the funds and everything goes. So this is part of the manipulation. This is part of the control. So we don't have to, as the United States, put boots on the ground because our weapon is access to the oil. You have something that you have to sell desperately to keep your economy going on. We're giving you an option. The option is going to be through us. We want you to stop. The next thing is we want you to stop your relationship with China, Russia, North Korea, and other places in terms of oil. We want you to go through us. That's a condition of us allowing you to remain in office. If you don't like it, we can fix that. We can take you out of office. We can do horrible things to you. So it's to your best interest. If you want to stay relevant for now, you have to follow the new rules of the game. So basically, we're looking at a bully coming in, taking over the neighborhood, and telling you what you can and cannot do. I don't know how long this is going to last. There will be feedback, there will be pushback, and there will be conflicts dealing with this. Right now, the United States is going to get its will and way because they have the upper hand militarily and economically. So this is what's happening right now in Venezuela. The states want to control who and where and the profits of that.
Mr. Norman Floyd Barnes, you were hearing Dr. Nasir saying that America is a very energy hungry country. But if you come to the reality today, Venezuela's oil is going to be coming to the U.S. ports. And not only so, the U.S. has a precarious position towards the north as well as in Latin America. According to Caroline Levitt, the White House spokesperson, she had said the president and his team are discussing a range of options to pursue this important foreign policy goal. And of course, utilizing the U.S. military is always an option at the commander-in-chief's disposal. She was definitely implying the situation towards Greenland. I want to understand how you felt and your closing remarks for the show today. Of course, it is a very crucial time in geopolitics and global governance. I want to understand your remarks.
Yes, thank you for the time. In summary, the United States is now implementing a plan that they put in place, utilizing the interests, the best interests of America. And the best interests of America is going to be utilized through the Monroe Doctrine 2, which basically they are going to look out for the interests of the United States within a certain sphere. The sphere of interest will be the Western Hemisphere. And basically they have consulted and talked with both China. What they're saying is, we'll allow you to do anything you want to do in terms of the Western Hemisphere as long as you leave my area alone. Basically, China has Asia. We're talking about Taiwan, but we're talking about Asia and other parts. Russia has Ukraine, and really talking about Europe. And basically, so if everybody stays in their own pocket or their own section, everything is okay. We will take note that there will be conflicts and issues within these areas, but that belongs to you. Whatever spirit, whatever you have, we will not interfere. We want to let that resolve itself, and you will be controlling that. The end of the day is that they want the three spears want to have a situation where everything happened in the area, they will have total control over the outcome. If you have a conflict in Greece, well, Russia wants to be able to basically oversee that and allow the Greeks and whatever to resolve the issue. But you will have to answer to the hand. The hand will be the person who controls the resources. If you control the resources, you control the energy, you control the area. So the military is just utilize the military to impose our will. But at the end of the day, if you don't have food, water, shelter, and resources, you can't exist. You can have an army. Ukraine is a good example of that. But basically, if you don't have resources, supplies, and equipment, that army has a very limited scope that you can deal with. In the end, what resources you have, what bargaining chips you have. And right now, the three big superpowers are basically trying to control what happens in these areas and basically determine the future of the world. So we're looking at a shifting and a new change in terms of world order to basically come to a point what we call peace. That is the only peace. The peace is basically what interests we can hold and maintain. As long as you follow these guidelines, just like we're doing in Venezuela, give me the oil, give me this, and we control what's going on, we will not interfere with your local matters. But at the end of the day, we want you to know we are in control. Thank you.